Hey guys, Sam Channel. So it's been a while since I last made a video, but I've been thinking of making this video series or diary vlog where I share my progress for certain goals or my accomplishments and how I got there and what got me there, like the mentality of thinking, whatever, so that you guys might learn something from it as well. And it also keeps me accountable for for the goals that I set for myself, and also sharing it makes me feel good with other people. And if it helps other people, hey, uh, that's a win-win situation. So, anyways, with whatever you want to accomplish and achieve, the most important thing is conception, and whether you believe it's doable or whether you can accomplish whatever you set out for yourself, you know? So, for example, um, people have people have like a different psychological makeup, different blocks, or different ideas for what's possible, right? So, if you come from a very wealthy, rich family background, old money, you could say, in such a case, it would be very easy for you to think, oh, like making 1 million next month, or like raising 1 million capital next month. It'd be really easy for you because if you're son of a billionaire, or if you're a billionaire, yeah, it would be really easy for you because you've done it, or you have this conception or idea that it's possible. However, if you come from a very underprivileged background, if you grew up in the slums or ghetto or whatever, I'm sure it'd be very difficult for you to grasp the idea that maybe you can be a millionaire, that you can live freely, abundantly, whatever. So it all comes down to what's conceivable and also what's possible in your mind. And everyone starts from a certain point to a certain, some people have certain advantages, some people don't have as many advantages, but it all starts first in the mind. Now, there are a lot of other videos, talking about this with whatever invention that we know in today's day and age, with technology, with like YouTube, internet, all this stuff that we take for granted. It all started with, the concept. It all started in the mind. People had to think of whatever they wanted to create, to achieve, because before you create something, you have to think, what is it going to be? Like, what is that you want to do? Or what is that you want to create, So I suppose that's one of the the reason why we live in this day and age now is because humans, over other species, we have the ability to think, to be creative, to use our imagination and our mind to conceive of something, to create something. So go back in history, go back in time or period in your life when you made something happen. I don't know whether it is with your hands or something creative, or when you choose something, right? You had to think of it first. You had to think of your actions, even if it's random gibberish, random gibberish painting or some abstract art. You still had to think of what you wanted to do with your hands. If you're painting abstract art, you're still thinking, okay, I'm going to, from your mind, from your brain, you're telling yourself, okay, I'm going to move my hand like this, and there will be a splatter with this type of paint on the canvas. So in that sense, even if you don't know the exact end product, still you're taking minuscule actions or small decisions every part of the way until you get to the end product, right? So in that sense, it all starts over here. So whatever you think is conceivable, think of that. how do you see your life, or if you want to learn a new language, if you want to live somewhere, or if you want to travel somewhere. Think of the ways that you think it can be conceivable, that can be possible. Okay, so I'll give you one example. In my case, now growing up, I was very sporty, and I've always been athletic. But one of the things I struggled with was putting on size and weight, because I don't know, maybe I thought it's just my genetics, or it's how I am, it's who I am, whatever. I had this identity that I put on myself, and this conception, my mind is thinking, because I don't have the genes to put on, a lot of size and mass and weight. I'm also like I'm thinking to myself, I have this identity where I'm just like this lean, athletic, maybe like a runner, or someone who has the framework for more of like leaner kind of sports. And of course, people have different body types, and different people have different frame when it comes to body size. But in my case, I've always been more lean and more skinny. So because of that, I've never been like overtly overweight, or I never put on such size or weight on my frame that my conception, what I think is possible for my case, it was always difficult to put on size. Yeah, it was very difficult to put on size, to put on weight, no matter how much I tried to eat, no matter how much I tried to exercise, because in the back of my mind, because of what I think is conceivable, what is realistic, I always had difficulty putting on weight, or putting on size, or like having more of like a bodybuilder physique, But recently I've been going to the gym after some while, and for some reason, I didn't have this thinking, or my thinking, or my belief was that, hey, just go to the gym, work out, take your protein shakes, and do the exercises, and don't really think too much about your caloric intake or this whatever. And you know what happened? Within 1 month, I put on 5. It's been 25 days or so, almost 1 month. Okay, so after a long time, I got back into the gym, working out and being more active. After being very unhealthy for a year or so, But I was like very skinny, and not as healthy, even though I looked skinny and perhaps maybe vascular. But anyways, because I changed my framework or way of thinking to not really put an attachment to that identity that I had before, which is I'm skinny, I have a lean build, I'm more like, built for different types of sports, and not necessarily bodybuilding, whatnot, blah, 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 whatever. So what ended up happening was I didn't really give myself that identity. I just thought to myself, okay, just go work out, and eat your food, and also I had the belief, and because I've been more so active, physically active, and healthy, throughout my life, generally, I knew for a fact that I had the building blocks, or the base and framework to quickly pick things up again. So in that sense, what happened with gym and exercise, with bench press, I started off at like 40 kilograms, just like 45 kilograms, bench press 45 kilos, that's like 100 pounds. So I lost a lot of strength or whatnot, but within 25 days, which is like 3-4 weeks, I ended up going to 70, 7, well, not exactly 70, but close to 70 kilograms, which is 150 pounds, around 150 pounds. So, because I've, in my conceptual mind, I know that it's possible because I've done it before, because I have a framework and base to make progress quickly. So in that sense, strength-wise, with my results, with gym, significant improvements and gains within just 3 or 4 weeks, and also with weight gain as well. I was for years, so I wasn't the most healthy, and I have a tendency to be underweight actually. So what ended up happening was I didn't really think about, I'm a skinny person, I'm a lean person, I don't have the genetics to put on weight or whatever. As I said, I was thinking my conception of mind or framework was along the lines of, hey, just as long as I do the work, as long as I take my protein shakes, eat my food on a consistent schedule, and go to the gym consistently, and give my best effort. Not even the best, you don't have to go 100%. As long as just show up. My thinking was, it'll be okay. It will. The results will show for itself. And as I said, within 3 weeks or so, within 25 days, I put on almost 5 kilograms, which is 11 something pounds. So 5 kilograms, 11 something pounds, and it's not necessarily just fat, because I'm measuring my waist and also taking measurements for like body fat percentage. Of course, there's some fat, but definitely within a month or so, 11 pounds, 5 kilograms of weight gained within 25 days, which before, to be honest, I've never had this kind of progress. I never had this kind of result, because as I said, my mentality, thinking was the old version of me, where I'm thinking I'm just skinny, lean. I can't put on size no matter how much I eat, no matter how much I track my calories, and blah blah blah, whatever. Even before, I used to track my calories, such as today I ate 3,000 calories, this many grams of protein. Even then, I struggled really hard gaining weight, and so-called hard gains, right? So even then, when I was tracking everything, when I was being really meticulous with my my fitness journey, and weightlifting, bodybuilding, I still had a lot of difficulty putting on size and putting on weight quickly. But when I changed that way of thinking, I'm not even tracking my calories, I'm not even lifting as heavy or as hard as I used to back then, but because my thinking, my conception, or my belief now is more so along the lines of, hey, it's possible, I can do it, just show up. As long as I show up, I'll be okay, I'll be fine. And that's how it's been. That's so because of that, because of the belief, the results have been very different from how it used to be back then. Right? So that's one of those things. But I'll talk about more of a spooky, or perhaps even more like I don't know, it's just mystical kind of experiences that I've had. Okay, so supposedly, if you think about certain things in your mind, if you're thinking about a certain color, brand of a car, or color of a car, or I don't know, just something specific. Something, it can be specific, but when you do think of something specific, it shows up. It shows up in your life. And in my experience, I tried putting it to the test, where a few cases, you know, I was thinking of, okay, and I want to hold this like specific, what was it? So I was just like trying it out. First time I was thinking, okay, I haven't, you know, played with a tennis ball, you know. No one I know in my social circle plays tennis. I've never seen a tennis ball in years and years, okay, first time. And I was thinking of tennis ball for many days. I was thinking of it, and like, I want to play with a tennis ball, you know. I'm thinking, I'm conceiving in my mind. Like, I'm holding this tennis ball, I'm playing with it, I'm bouncing it on the ground, and I'm just like living in that kind of reality, you could say, you know, where I'm playing with a tennis ball. And it was like 3-4 days. Suddenly, you know, just as I imagined the tennis ball, I took a shower. I came out from my shower, and it was on the ground. It was on the ground. And just as I thought, you know, like, I asked my roommate at the time, where does this come from? Where does tennis ball come from? And he goes like, oh, I've always had it, but I don't know, for some reason today I wanted to just play with my tennis ball. And supposedly, after I started thinking I want to play with a tennis ball, like I want to hold a tennis ball, after a few days it happened. Okay, now second case, I was thinking of, and it's not just like 1 or 2, 3 cases. It was more so like, okay, second case, I want to see someone wearing this really teal, I forgot the exact colors, but it was the exact colors, okay? So I told myself, okay, I want to see someone wearing this teal jacket, and I think pink hat. Okay, so this was during the winter time, and living in Central Asia, and Central Asians culturally are very conservative type of people with colors and with fashion and how they dress and whatnot. So mainly you see people wearing, this was during the winter time, so mainly you see people wearing like black or maybe white, you know, like more so just very basic common colors. Okay, so that's why I made it like, okay, someone who has like teal, very bright teal winter coat jacket with a pink hat. Like, so I tried 2 color combinations that are very rare, that's hard to come by, to come across. So I was thinking of it for the whole day. I was thinking of it. I was looking everywhere. I was trying to find someone who, you know, who was wearing such clothing, but I couldn't find anyone. So I thought, okay, you know, whatever. I stopped thinking about it, and then I went to one of this clinic. I was getting a checkup at a clinic, and at that clinic, when I sat down, I don't know, like something told me look left. You know, well, I don't know, for some reason I wanted to look left, and I look left, and I see someone with a bright teal winter coat with pink hat. I'm not even making this up. So this color combination, it's like really interesting. I was thinking to myself, what? Like, how does this happen? I was thinking of, throughout the day, I was trying to find someone, but I couldn't find someone. And then suddenly, I don't know, like I look left and I see someone with the exact color combination that I wanted to like see with my own eyes, you know? So that's the second case. Now, third case, with similar to tennis ball, I wanted to play with like a squishy, bouncy blue ball, like for kids, you know, squishy, like very squishy. It's very not like, you know, not sports or anything. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but just a squishy plaything for kids. That's what I was thinking. Now, none of my friends within my vicinity at the time have kids or had kids, and um, I was living quite remotely, or like I don't really partake in activities that are related to kids, or um, I don't know, just the thought. Like realistically speaking, the chances of me holding this like a squishy ball, like playing with it, uh, was very low. Okay, but I still, like, in my mind, in my conception, I thought, okay, doesn't matter. I'll just imagine it. I'll play with it, and I'll think of it. I'll keep thinking of it. I think I did this for like 1 or 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks or so, maybe 3 weeks. I forgot exactly how long, but like 2 weeks or so. I was just like closing my eyes, and I was thinking, okay, like I'm playing with this like squishy blue ball, and I'm like holding it and playing with it, and whatever. I'm making it as real, or trying to conceive that idea as wholly as possible. And 3 weeks passed by, nothing happened. A month passed by, nothing happened. So I thought to myself, okay, fine. Maybe it was just like my luck, or certain specific instance, or whatever. So I forgot about it. Okay, I forgot about it. But after like one and a half month, no, 2 months. No, actually, 2 months. So it's been 2 months, and I was visiting my friend abroad, and my friend happens to have a kid. So he has a little boy, and for whatever reason, it was after a long time, after a year and a half or so, not seeing my friend. So I went abroad. Ever since I was thinking of wanting to hold a blue ball, it's been 2 months. So I had to go abroad. Okay, I went abroad, and I wanted to meet my friend. I hadn't seen in a long time, a year and a half or something. So he tells me, oh, I'm kind of like, today I'm feeling a bit sick. No, my little boy is sick today. So I can't meet you outside, like the usual pub, or like at a cafe or whatever. So he invited me to his home. So I went to his home, and he was cooking some food and making some dinner, and he was also looking after his little boy because his little boy was sick. So we talked, we chatted, and I sat down on his couch, and his boy was playing with all these toys and whatnot. And then I see this squishy blue ball, which I imagine lying there among the toys, like in front of me. So I think the little boy brought it to me, and we played with the blue little ball, passing around, like bouncing on the ground and all. So it happened. It happened as well. Okay, so third case, when I tried to put it to the test, it happened. Now, fourth case, I was still thinking, okay, maybe it was just like some coincidence or luck. Maybe I was, just happened to also find a blue ball just out of luck. So, fourth instance, I also tried, okay, what about a steel marble, Because I used to play with marbles when I was young, and for many, many years, I don't know, 10 something years, I hadn't touched the marble, I hadn't played with these, just like marbles, yeah. So I was thinking, okay, steel marble made out of metal, at least it has to be metallic. It's a very unique, very different kind of thing. Like not just marbles which people collect, or glass kind of marbles, or like these kind of balls, but steel marbles which people can play with, or like people use. Okay, so I gave it like specific color and specific characteristics to this marble. So I used to think of this for a month or so, thought of like holding a marble and thinking, okay, it happened. Yeah, I'm holding a steel marble in my hands. And of course, no one I know in my vicinity, people I know, whatever, like they don't. I mean, there's no reason for them to have such thing. So, so with the marble, I was thinking for 1 month or so, I was just thinking it. And a month or so passed by, and I thought, okay, and I thought, okay, maybe it was just a fluke, and I forgot about it. I didn't. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I stopped thinking about it. Like, I didn't waste my time, energy, trying to think or imagine myself holding a steel marble. So a year or something passes by, a year and a half, I think. I don't know, yeah, a year and a half, 1 year, year and a half, okay. And interestingly enough, for whatever reason, I don't know, for my birthday, I ended up going to Uzbekistan. And in Uzbekistan, culturally, they have they have these like like shiny marbles within the culture that they use. You can buy them from shops. It's like it was so. I was in Uzbekistan. I had forgotten about this, steel marble thing for years, something, year and a half or something. It had been such a long time, but for a month or so, I was thinking, okay, steel marble, blah 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 blah. This was like 2022, I believe, so 2 years ago. So I was thinking of this, and then I forgot about it, and in 2023, when I was in Uzbekistan, just traveling, just minding my own business. I was in Samarkand, which is one of the cultural cities in Uzbekistan. So what ended up happening was I was walking along the main palace in Samarkand, and then I see bunch of these steel, like metallic marbles everywhere, along the road, just thrown out in the like roads, the main roads, and I picked it up and I was thinking, and I realized, oh, I've been thinking about the marble for like a year and a half or so ago. I was thinking of it, but now it's now it's here. Wow, I was like really surprised after a long time, like a year and a half or something, and it happens. So, so the fourth instance, the fourth case, it ended up happening. So that wasn't the only time. And then I was going to the bazaars and the markets and whatnot, and I see these steel marbles everywhere being sold out of, like just vendors, selling these steel balls, right? Which I imagine a year and a half or so ago. And at the time, I was just thinking to myself, like, wow, like, it didn't happen for years something, but now it's everywhere, Now it's everywhere. So, fourth instance, fourth case, okay? Now, I have a few more. So, I don't know, like, it happens it happens in such a weird ways, weird, unexplainable kind of way that even though it happens, you're kind of like doubting yourself and thinking, okay, maybe it was just like a random luck, sequence of events, random luck of things that happen in life, randomly. So I thought, okay, in that case, whenever I'm kind of like doubting myself, like with what's possible, conception, whatever you think, whatever you imagine, whatever you think is possible, it happens and you see in your life. So whenever I kind of like doubted myself, I tried fifth time, okay? The fifth time, I thought to myself, okay, so now I would try to climb a ladder, okay? A steel ladder, because in my everyday life, I don't climb a ladder, I don't go up a ladder, I don't I don't use ladder. I haven't had any use for ladder for years and years, and never like in my life have I ever had that kind of need for ladders. I don't know. I can't remember the last before this case, and I can't remember the last time I ever climbed a ladder, or at least held a ladder. Stood on the ladder. So okay, I thought about it and like for a month or so, maybe I think 2-3 weeks. Okay, I was thinking of it and I was thinking of it. I was seeing ladders. I was seeing them. In my office, someone wanted to paint something and took the ladder and took it out. Okay, that was a bit of an interesting case. Okay, but I didn't like hold the ladder. I didn't really touch the ladder and like didn't really go up the ladder. So that happened. And in the second case, well, I don't know, when I was taking taxi or like when I was in my everyday life, in my vision or periphery, I saw ladders. I saw these like ladders, just everywhere. Just coming to me. And this happened more quickly. So I was thinking of ladders for like 2 or so weeks, and then by the third week I was seeing ladders. Okay, but I didn't touch it. I didn't like really go up a ladder or not, because it wasn't really appropriate, so it didn't really happen. So, but I was thinking it. I was trying to. I was still like thinking of ladders, steel ladder, and I was thinking of okay, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to like step on a ladder at least. And my thinking was okay, like so I'm trying to imagine or think myself as going up a ladder and just telling myself like this is just some weird magic, voodoo magic, whatnot. It's like telling myself internally. That's how I'm imagining myself. That's how I'm thinking myself. Thinking internally, I'm thinking that. So after 3 weeks, I was thinking to myself, okay, ladders. But I was seeing ladders, but I wasn't touching it. I didn't step on the ladder. But I was seeing it everywhere. And in one case, I went to one of these. I went to the something like a DMV, DMV, which is a place where I was getting my license renewed. Okay, so I was getting a new license, driving license. So I was getting my new driver's license at this office where you go to pick it up. So I sit down and like give them my paperwork and everything to renew my license, and right next to me, these I don't know, these people from the office, or I don't know, like these workers, they were right there with a ladder. They were painting something, like right there, right next to me. So I gave my documents to the manager, who could renew my license or not. So I gave my documents and everything, and the manager goes, "It doesn't appear that I have your license over here. Can you go and check that booth over there?" And the booth over there it's right next to where I need to go. Okay, so it's like it's really weird, man. It's really weird because I'm not like forcing myself to be close to a ladder. I'm not really I'm not making active choices or decisions to go up a ladder or see a ladder or whatnot. But in that specific instance, okay, I was thinking to myself, okay, maybe someone will ask me, hey, like, kid, can you go up this ladder and can you pick something up? Or can you help me? Can you help with something? Can you step on the ladder? When I was consciously thinking of it, but it didn't happen. However, so I had to go to the booth next to me, and somehow the people who were using the ladder, they were following me around, you know, not like purposefully, but where I went, they had like stuff to fix or things to do within my vicinity, which was so weird. So, but anyways, I got my license renewed, and I was just thinking to myself, but I didn't hold the ladder. I didn't like step on the ladder. I want to step on the ladder. So, well, it ended up being so for whatever reason it didn't happen. But it was like right next to me, close to. Before it was like maybe a few meters away, like away from me, or like I would see it somewhere in the streets or somewhere, you know. But this time it was like right next to me. All right. Now, so I forgot about it for a month or something, you know. Yeah, around a month or something. Didn't really think of ladders too much, but still was thinking, you know, like I have to step on a ladder, holding the ladder, you know. But what ended up happening was I was passing through one of these like villages, not village, but like a small city in Russia. In order to, so I was going back to wherever I needed to be, but I had to pass through this city in Russia. So this hotel that I was staying in. So I went to the main door, okay, like the main, the first floor. So opened the first floor, and I was trying to like bring my, bring my luggage and my backpack and, you know, everything in. And then when I opened the door, I noticed a ladder right next to me. And it was like ladders were showing up everywhere. Like before it was like a bit further away, but now it was like right next to me, okay? Right next to me. So I don't know, I felt like obligated. I felt obligated. Okay, fine. No one is looking at me, no one is there to make fun of me, you know? No one is there to make fun of me, like stepping a ladder or like, you know, just being really puzzled by that. So it was the first floor. You had to go up the stairs to go to reception. So on the first floor, the main entrance, I just see this ladder. No one is around, you know, no one's like, it was late at night, so no one is going to be judging me or making fun of me. So I open the door, I see the ladder right next to me over there. So I compulsively thought to myself, like I was thinking to myself as I thought and imagined, like this like voodoo magic type of thing. It's happening. Like what the heck, you know? Like what's with all these ladders? Like what the heck, you know? So I compulsively, you know, because of obligation, I ended up holding the ladder and at least stepped on it as I thought to myself, as I imagined myself. So that happened, okay? Not just once, okay? So that was the first instance where it happened. Where I touched the ladder and I was like, wow, like this voodoo magic type of thing. What's happening? Like, am I living in a dream? Or so like by obligation, by compulsion, I ended up touching a ladder, holding a ladder, and then like stepping on it. Like, okay, you know, it happened. It's real, you know, it's real. So that happened, not just once, okay? So the second time was, so I came back to where I live, usually, and I was crashing at my friend's place for a few days, okay? So, and for some reason, my other friends, like they never had ladders, they never had. At least I've never really noticed it or never really like paid attention to it. But my friends or like relatives, and I can't remember or imagine when they had a ladder, like whenever I used a ladder. But I was staying in my friend's place for a few nights, and he happens to not only have one but two ladders. One in the balcony, and there was another one in the bathroom. So whenever I go out to the balcony, I see the ladder right next to me there. And also, whenever I'm using the bathroom, I'm also seeing the ladder over there. So, and of course, because it's right in front of me, it's in a bathroom, it's enclosed space. Like I can think or do whatever I want to do. Like in the bathroom, like, no one is going to break into the bathroom and say like what kind of, why are you being weird, like touching a ladder and like, as if you're seeing a ladder for the first time. And so no one was there to judge me specifically in the bathroom. So it happened twice, okay? Twice. I was like holding it, I was telling myself again, man, like what is this? Ladders everywhere. It's like everywhere I'm seeing ladders. Like what is this like magic voodoo, thing that's happening in my life, that I'm experiencing in my life? So I held it and I stepped on it and it's like, okay, fine, it happened. So I was like, okay, fine, now stop, stop giving me ladders, or stop showing me ladders. And, like I'm done with ladders. Okay, I'm done. Stop it. So that's kind of like what I was thinking to myself, or like this universe or whatever. So since then, I haven't been seeing any ladders. So it's been a month or so, about a month. Yeah, 3 weeks or so. I haven't seen any ladders, but for the past month, last month, beginning in July, I was seeing ladders everywhere. So now, how I conceived the thought was going to be real or happen. It happened. So ladders and everything. But I feel like with such things like what you conceive and what we believe is possible, what's real, I think there's like conflicting back and forth emotions, or back and forth, maybe even ethereal kind of forces at play, because with all these instances which I told you about, and there were a few other instances, like personal instances, which is just very weird to explain, but these are more like personal, like type of thing, which I tried in my life and which happened. So I don't really feel comfortable sharing those things, but they did happen. However, in these like cases where I fully immersed myself in this kind of like situation, imagination, I was playing with a tennis ball, squishy ball, a steel ball, a ladder, and like all these things, because to me they're just trivial, trivial in the sense that I'm not like emotionally invested or attached, or I'm not really I'm not necessarily thinking, oh, if I don't hold a tennis ball, my life is ruined, or I need to like being really attached, or being like really trying to like forcefully trying to make it happen. Like I didn't forcefully try to make it happen because emotionally I'm not invested in it, and I'm not really attached to it. I'm not really doubting it, To me, it's just like fun play, I'm thinking, I'm just having a fun experience of play in my imagination, in my mind, or my conception, So even if it didn't happen, I just thought of it. I kept thinking of it, and if it didn't happen, I was like, okay, fine, whatever, just do something else. And then in all these cases, with 100% certainty, these they've happened as I imagined, as I said, yeah. However, the cases in which it doesn't happen as well, or for some things that I want to happen, or want to conceive and imagine, and make it real in my real everyday waking life, I realized how, like, when you perhaps maybe have these kind of like forces at play, you're thinking to yourself, like for example with money, okay? For example, with money, who doesn't want to be a billionaire? Okay, maybe not a billionaire, but who doesn't want to have $1 million in the bank? Who doesn't want abundance of money, abundance of whatever it is that's like with bills and paying your bills and whatnot. I'm sure most of us struggle with finances, money, and paying certain things on time or not. So even though you can imagine or try to conceive in your mind that you have $1 million, you have $1 million, you have like, I have $1 million, I have $1 million, I'm a millionaire, I'm rich, I'm a millionaire, I'm abundant. No matter how much you tell yourself, no matter how much you imagine it, no matter how much you try to conceive of the idea and thought, if you don't think it's possible, if you don't think it's realistic or believable, or as if though you have this weird attachment or weird connection with money, or weird understanding of money, and I don't know, just weird dynamic with money, then it's hard. It's definitely going to be hard, because most people, they work in a 9 to 5 job, a typical office job that pays you every month or so, right? But in my case, I have the privilege, or at least I'm lucky enough to be able to work in my own time, to work in my own projects, and also have basically not in like, yeah, I'm not a millionaire at this point, but like at least in my mind, if I need money tomorrow, if I need money next week or whatnot, I can make it happen. I can basically call a few people and pretty much like grow money out of tree, like metaphorically, not in the sense like real real direct sense where you grow money in a tree, but I know for a fact that, and I believe, understanding that if I need money tomorrow, if I need money next week, if I need money this, so however, in which way is possible, I can make it happen. Maybe not in millions, but at least hundreds of dollars. It may be 1,000, 2,000, something. At least in my conception, in my frame of mind and work, it's possible. I've made it happen plenty of times, so it's not really difficult in that sense. However, as I said, who wouldn't want to have $1 million? So in my case, even though I'm thinking like $1 million, whatever this is, because it's not fully there yet, where it feels realistic, like next month or tomorrow or within a week I'll have $1 million. It doesn't feel tangible, So maybe, okay, we'll see how it happens. I'll be sure to share with you guys like the progress and the accomplishments or achievements that I have in the future. But maybe next year, in 2 years, who knows? We'll see. When the conception within my mind can be in a state or a framework where having $1 million transferred to you, or having $1 million in my bank account feels realistic, achievable, and tangible, maybe it will happen just like that, really easily. So we'll see how it happens, okay? But if you go back and think of your life, most of the stuff that you thought was going to happen, or you think, or like within this framework of mind, you think will happen, is going to happen, has pretty much happened. When I think back to my life and like all these like big life experiences, life decisions, and all these memorable accomplishments, moments that I've experienced in my life, they've all happened. They've all pretty much happened for me. And back then, I didn't really think about it. I didn't really know about such like what you think or imagine, or maybe what you conceive in your mind, what you hold in your framework of your mind that happens, with belief. It happens. I didn't consciously know of it, but for some reason, I don't know, this gut feeling or this sense or just this, like when you have like this dream, right? When you have this like dream of, oh, I want to do this, or like just something like something that you can't explain, whether like you see something and you think to yourself, I want that, or and it's like obsession, right? Not an obsession, but it's just like you can't really explain why you want it, why why you're drawn to it, why it's a thing you want. You can really back then. I remember a few times like wanting to live in the U.S., wanted to study in the U.S., work in the U.S., whatnot. Like, for some reason, I don't know, ever since like I was 11, 12 or something, I just had this weird thoughts of being there, living there, working there, and experiencing the American culture. And it happened. I lived in the States for 5 years. Um, Also, like with travel as well, I I don't know. In my case, like when I was for some reason, I just wanted to travel and just explore the world. And you know what ended up happening? I wasn't necessarily like, oh, I want to travel, or like I'm imagining it, I'm conceiving it, or like I'm consciously making an effort to travel. But what ended up happening was, I don't know, deep down, I wanted to travel. And one of my first employer, my first new job, for some reason, my boss decided to give me $4,000. And I wasn't really happy with my job. I wasn't really happy working there. But for some reason, my boss gave me $4,000 and said, "Hey, like seems like you're not really happy working here, and it seems like things are not really going to work out here. But you're one of our first like employees in this specific role or position, so." Um, they were saying like we'll give you 1 month's salary, no I don't worked only for like 8 months at the company, so they didn't even have to give me uh, severance pay or severance package, and it's an at will employment state, Illinois. So people can fire, employers can fire you and not pay any severance package, or they don't even have to give any explanation why they're letting you go or firing you or whatnot. But in my case, I was really unhappy at my job, and for some reason, I just wanted to travel. But one day, my boss, my employer, calls me into his office. And they're like, yeah, we're seeing really unhappy here, and things looks like things are not going to be working out in the future for us. But here's 1 month's salary, 4,000 USD, no questions asked, and just hand off your work and stuff, and tomorrow you don't have to come to the office. But here's so they paid my salary up to no, it was a month and a half actually, because it was halfway through the month, so they paid half of the month and the next month, which I didn't know. So they paid a month and a half worth of salary and wage, just like that. I said they didn't have to give me severance package or pay whatever, so they just gave it to me, and they told me, okay, best of luck, and you were one of my first employees, like. My employee had a bit of like, he was getting a bit teary-eyed for some reason, and I wasn't the best employee. I wasn't the most productive, or at least I don't know. I wasn't. I didn't. I felt a bit bad in a case because I was trying my best, but I didn't perform as well as I hoped. But anyways, for some reason, I had this deep feeling of wanting to travel, but they gave me 4,000 dollars for me to just use for my own expenses or whatnot. So I was saving up my money as well, so I had like $7,000, $8,000. So in total, I had like $12,000, which I used to just travel around around the states. You know, all these like different states. I was traveling Michigan, Houston, Seattle, New York, Las Vegas. Went on the slot machines in Las Vegas. So I don't know. It's weird. It happens. So I have like other things that I have in my mind within the conception of framework that's in progress, which I'll talk about as things progress. But we'll see how it happens, which I'll be happy to share with you guys. But the thing is, yeah, whatever you think you can conceive in your mind, whatever you think it's possible in your mind, it can happen. It does happen. And some way, somehow, in its weird way or form, like it goes and it's not a direct path, but it goes like this, you know. It's ever flowing. It's ethereal, and it's not like magic where something just happens overnight. So sometimes it does happen overnight, but it's not like it's freaky, you know. It's not like something just materializes in front of you, you know, like with magic, but not that kind of sense. But it happens in a weird way where you think you doubting yourself, like, was it because I worked hard for this, or was it because it was just luck, or was it a coincidence, or was it an experience, or like, what is this? Because you're thinking like it's it happens in such a way that it's really hard to fully explain to yourself and convince to yourself that you made it happen with your conceptual framework of mind, belief, you know? So, yeah, that's the video for today, and hope you go and create your own life. So we'll see how it happens with my own, like, you know, future endeavors and whatever happens. I do have a few things in works and a few things that's happening in my life, and I'll share it when I get it done, when I accomplish it. Okay, so yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe and like and share.